Much of the talk this week has been about the Homestead-Miami Speedway, about the perfect playoff race, and how this track would be great for the finale. And this coming week, we're heading to Martinsville, which under the next-gen era has not been really that good. But I do think that when you look back at the elimination playoffs, this is the perfect race. Just because every time we go there, no matter how good or dull the racing is, something always happens that makes us just say wow, or just be completely stunned. So let's jump on into all these different stories the past couple years. Let's head back to 2014, the last year of the non-neutered cars, and the main character of the day being Jeff Gordon in a career renaissance on his way seemingly to his 5th championship. He led a ton of the day, was obviously the dominant car, but late in the race, due to the strategy, Dale Earnhardt Jr. would be the one who would jump up to the front. And Earnhardt would then on the final restart get by Tony Stewart and others and beat Jeff Gordon to the line barely to win his one and only grandfather clock. This would also end up being the difference for Jeff Gordon's championship bid in 2014, as he missed out by 1 point at Phoenix, and a win here would have brought him to the Final Four. And from there, who knows how differently he would have raced with that team. 2015, on the other hand, was good for him and bad for others. It was off the tail of a disaster at Talladega that ended terribly, and a dominant performance by Joey Logano looking to win 4 races in a row. It was truly the dark times for many NASCAR fans, especially Matt Kenseth fans, who had been eliminated and seen a crash take Kenseth pretty much out of contention of a race that he may have been able to compete in. Kenseth would come back out angrily and absolutely decimate Logano in the 22 car, ultimately ending the 22 season and championship run. And the one taking advantage of that? Well, the man who lost the year before, Jeff Gordon, who would get his final Cup win and end up going to Homestead to compete for a championship in what was supposed to be his final Cup race. Now, jumping forward to 2016, this was a year that Toyota dominated the race. When you look at the laps led, it was a Toyota fest in every way, a Toyota-thon, if you will. But it was Jimmy Johnson who would end up transferring and, well, go on to win his 7th and final championship thanks to the win that he had in Martinsville. It was clear that Johnson was starting to slow down statistically in this season into the next, so this was really the final shot he had realistically at this championship. This also would be the final NASCAR race for Jeff Gordon, who was subbing for an injured Dale Earnhardt Jr. 2017 was a fight between some of the new age guys. The first Martinsville race as well to end under the lights fully. Down to the line between Denny Hamlin and Chase Elliott. Elliott going for his first win that he was oh so close to getting in the races before this. And they would have a run-in where the 24 Napa car this time would end up crashing into turns 3 and 4. And Kyle Busch would get the win in front of a track-clogging wreck. Denny Hamlin, of course, was not going to be very popular as he is taking out the new crown prince of NASCAR, and in doing that as well, he even had Santa Claus mad at him. 2018's race, I think, was starting to enter the really controversial era of the NASCAR playoffs. The era where every year something happened that seemed to wow people in a negative light. And this time in 2018, it came down to Joey Logano once again and Martin Truex Jr. Truex worked on Logano over and over and over. Lap after lap, he was cleanly racing him, just trying to find an opening, doing it the talented way, and in doing so, he managed to get by Logano right at the end of the race. But Logano, knowing that he would have to go and try and win the championship with this kind of move, slammed Truex, and they bashed doors to the finish line with the 22 ending up winning. This would be huge for a lot of people when it came to the old school and the new school ethics of the playoffs and driving. And, well, Truex said this.
May win the battle, but he ain't win the damn war.
And, well, let's just put it like that. Truex lost the damn war. 2019 would be a lull in this. I'll admit this was just an MTJ ass kicking. He came back with a vengeance in this race. Instead, 2020 would make up for that with one of the most controversial finishes, I think, in NASCAR history because of the results. On paper, it looks dull. Chase Elliott dominated a majority of the day, led a bunch of laps, and advanced to the Final Four, winning this race and ending up the week after winning his first and so far only championship. But it was what happened behind him. After an unfortunate series of events where dirty air stopped him from winning at Kansas and being on a wet racetrack crashed him at Texas, Kevin Harvick had a pretty dismal day, his first one of the year really, and with that, he would fall below the cut line after a dominant season, winning well over the majority of the races compared to the other drivers, and with that, on the last lap, had to wreck Kyle Busch to try and make it in. And unfortunately for Harvick and his fans, well, he ended up wrecking himself, missing the Final Four and not competing for a championship in what was easily his best season and one of the best seasons we've seen in the last decade and a half. And the Gen 6 era would end with a bang in 2021. The race came down to the line with Alex Bowman and Denny Hamlin racing. Hamlin with the lead, Bowman on the charge. And going down into turn 3, he would end up, Alex that is, spinning Denny Hamlin. And Bowman would go on to win the race, with Denny clearly being pissed because of this. Bowman would earn a career high of a 4th victory in the 2021 season, and I can tell you from being there in person, while this was Denny's hometown crowd, nobody was cheering for him. The giant crowd pop from him being spun by Bowman was honestly shocking. 2022, well, take a look at what he did.
Take a look at what he did!
I have never seen anything like that before in my life.
And then you have 2023, a race that determined the entirety of the season. Ryan Blaney with the win was able to completely cement his way through the final round and into the finale, and he would go on to win his first title. I think the biggest story from this one was the fact that Denny Hamlin, while having shots to make it in throughout this round and race, ultimately was eliminated and again would lose a shot at that first title. And with that, we all knew he'd be running out of time. Which leads us to 2024. Who knows what'll happen this weekend? The cut line is pretty close between two of the Hendrick teammates, but you never know with Martinsville what could happen. Even at its dullest, Martinsville still can pull a rabbit out of its hat. I mean, hell, even the Xfinity Series has more major events than a lot of other tracks do when it comes to the playoffs. Just look at Ty Gibbs and his teammate versus the RCR civil war we had last year. There still is a lot of fight left in this little paperclip. So with that, I want to know what you think. What is your favorite Martinsville moment? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're at it, leave a like in this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel for more great and fun NASCAR content. Thank you so much to all my channel members for your continued support. And until next time, have a good one.